We're talking about solving inequalities and compound inequalities, and we need to be able to talk about interval notation. So we have different ways that we can display our answer. So interval notation, you're either going to use parentheses or brackets. So if we're talking about going to infinity, like there's no bound, used to indicate that the set is unbounded in the positive or negative direction. So if it's unbounded in the positive direction, that means it's going to keep going all the way to positive infinity. So we would use an open parentheses on the right. If it's unbounded on the left, we'd use a open parentheses on the left for negative. Down here at the bottom, infinity must always have parentheses. Okay. The reason that it must always have parentheses is because we can never get to infinity. So you can never count to infinity. There's always going to be another number you can get to. So we have to make sure that we use parentheses anytime we have infinity involved. Parentheses are used to indicate that an endpoint is not included. So if we're thinking not included, we need to be thinking less than. So we could say less than or greater than. Remember, we're thinking along with this, we're thinking open dot. Okay, anytime we have a parentheses involved, that means that that point is not included. So the symbols that go with parentheses are either an open dot or the greater than or less than without the equal sign. Brackets are used to indicate that the endpoint is included. Okay, so this one is included. The parentheses not included. So the symbols that correspond to brackets would be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And in this case, if we're talking about the dots, these are the closed dots. A combination of both parentheses and brackets are allowed. Okay, so you can use one side of an interval notation can be bracket and the other side can be parentheses. So here is an example. We have example 1. We have a bracket at -6. So what that's going to mean is that point is included. And then at infinity, we'll never get there. So basically, we're just going to have an arrow that keeps going in that direction. So when we go to draw that, we'll just put a point at -6, close dot at -6, and that is going to keep going in that direction. So this would be an example of interval notation. So 2 numbers, and then the bounds are represented by the bracket or the parenthesis. Another way that we could write this is we could write this in set builder notation. And set builder notation is what you probably are used to seeing, where we'd have a situation like in this case to rewrite this one in set builder notation. We want the arrow to point in the direction that we're going. So we're going to say x is greater than or equal to -6. As long as you have the variable on the left, the arrow will point in the direction that the line should go.